I have already decided, even since the first car meet, that this is something जिसमें मेरे को मिलेगा नहीं कुछ भी. The only thing I get out of these things is the experience that I'm getting. Right? अभी तक क्या था, कॉलेज में, स्कूल में सिर्फ असाइनमेंट्स चलते थे. ठीक है, अभी ये असाइनमेंट, अभी ये असाइनमेंट, अब वो करना है, ये करना है. What's happening now is I'm out in the real world. I am seeing what it's actually like to be out there, to work on something, to meet people. And the second is networking, to make connections, to know people, get to know people, what this industry is about, क्या exactly चल रहा है, कौन क्या कर रहा है, कैसा चल रहा है सब. These are the only two things I'm getting out of it. And because I purely treat it as a passion project, I am able to do it properly. 3 months of stay in Hyderabad, that's not cheap, right? However cheap hotel you take, when the stay goes on for more than 2.5 months, it becomes very expensive. First, the venue. Right, that is one of the first thing where you spend your money on.
तुम अगर 4,000 रुपए पर नाइट का कमरा भी पकड़ लो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल
4,000 था
तुम्हारे 4-5 लाख रुपए, तो तुम्हारे 90 दिन पकड़ लो, 3 महीने. हाँ. तो 90 डेज, लेट्स से 100 डेज, तुम्हारे 4-5 लाख रुपए तो सिर्फ वहाँ रहने के लग गए. प्लस खाना पीना, तो ऑब्वियसली वो सारा कुछ अलग.
देयर इज खाना पीना, अपने आप को सस्टेन करने के लिए यू नीड उधर वहाँ पे खर्च करना पड़ता है. एंड ट्रांसपोर्टिंग 2 cars with separate containers, specially built for supercars, is expensive. Right, getting them from Kochi to Hyderabad, then back to Kochi. Then there were 3 cars from Delhi. Their transport was something that I had to bear as well.
यही 2.5 लाख रुपए हो गए.
More than the venue was the production, to have that stage set up. All the trusses there, T-trusses, lightings, smoke machines, those CO2 crackers.
And considering it's in the middle of a convention center, तो वहाँ तो कुछ भी नहीं होगा production के नाम पे.
They didn't even provide electricity, so I had to get DGs, those diesel generators, 6 of them, because it was a very big space. Diesel generators cost what, like 20-30K each. Yeah. And then there's the diesel for it is separate.
Passion is the fuel, and cars are the heartbeat of Sarthak Rana's incredible journey. The mastermind behind Whip Mantra, Sarthak has redefined what it means to celebrate car culture in India. From adrenaline-pumping drift arenas to jaw-dropping ramp walks, he's created events that are far more than just meets. They are experiences. Experiences that unite enthusiasts, showcase raw talent, and ignite a love for motoring like never before. But it wasn't easy. Behind every roaring engine and cheering crowd lies sleepless nights, endless challenges, and an unwavering commitment to perfection. And yet, Sarthak's vision stays crystal clear to make Whip Mantra the epitome of automotive celebration in the country.
Thanks a lot, man, for today, and congratulations on the super successful Hyderabad Whip Mantra event that you pulled off. I'm really sorry I couldn't make it, as I told you earlier also. I wish I could have made it after seeing the reels and stuff, but I guess it was a super successful one. How would you put it?
It was definitely successful. Like, whatever I put into it, right, I saw it coming out very well.
Okay.
Right, I was hoping for it to come out that way, and usi tarike se I was very happy about it. And you know, like, it was the first supercar show with a supercar ramp walk, right? That hasn't happened in India before. So I feel it's a big deal, right? And I'm happy to do it. Great experience.
So
loved it.
Talk about a few ideas. I mean, first I'll talk about this event itself, because that's clearly the elephant in my heart, not in the room. So you just mentioned that ramp walk was something which has never happened in India. What made you come up with that idea? Where did you come up with that idea or inspiration from, of doing a ramp walk of cars?
So see, I did my first car meet. पहली कार मीट हुई गुड़गांव में. When I realized that this is going good, I need to do something as well. after that first car meet in May, I started coming up with as many ideas as I can, right? 100 ideas सोचे, 2 use किए, इस तरीके से I kept on thinking. While, you know, researching, looking at videos from outside, how people actually do it, what happens. This was one thing that I came up with, and I thought that I can pull this off. I should definitely look into it. Couldn't do it for the second one because I wasn't ready then. Hyderabad I went, I was like, this is the time, I'm definitely gonna pull it off. Started working on it like 3 months before the event. किस तरीके से execute करना है, किस तरीके से करना चाहिए, how to make it more beautiful. While I was thinking about it, Brabus did a ramp walk, like, and Brabus did an auto show, right? I was like, this is good timing, right? Because I was looking for ideas as to how it's supposed to be. Of course, I didn't do it exactly like Brabus. Brabus was very different, was indoors as well. But I got ideas from it, how the lighting is supposed to be, because I don't have a team who can, you know, tell me कि इस तरीके से lightings होनी चाहिए. We're professionals in it, and that's not my industry. I don't know anything about it, so I look for ideas. Brabus का show हुआ, got a lot of inspiration from it, and then I started working on it more अपने तरीके से with creating an entire lighting of it, because see, the light and the vibe that I give to that ramp walk, that's the most important element. Even if it's not that beautiful in person, even though it was, but most of the people who are going to watch the event are on social media, right? The videos need to look very beautiful. I
saw you dancing in front of the Merc.
yeah, the GLS. So 90% of the cars, they were from my side, right? I knew what all cars were coming.
Of course.
I didn't know about the GLS.
Oh.
I was on the ramp, all the cars coming in, meeting all the people because I've already networked with them, I know them. And I'm on the ramp, पीछे से car चल रही है. And so the way to get on the ramp was from the sides of it. They go from the side, get on the ramp, then come on it. मैं देख रहा हूँ साइड में वो गाड़ी बाउंस कर रही है. मैं जीएस देख में भाई मज़ा आ गया, बहुत ही बढ़िया हो गया ये तो, because that is something that I would have definitely wanted, but I wasn't able to get it right. I had no idea about it. The moment it came on the stage, I was like excited. The moment it started dancing, मैं भी dance करने लग गया. I was happy about it. काफी अच्छा था वो.
Nice. So, what was your ideology behind doing a ramp walk? As in, what did you have in mind that, you know what, Aradhya, this is what I wanted people to experience. This is what I wanted the car owners to experience by doing a ramp walk. What was that?
So see, there are a lot of car owners, high premium supercar owners in India. Not many of them are enthusiasts. The ones that are, most of them want people to see their vehicles, right? Most of them are on social media as well. That's a good thing, like for them. Like if they want to show what they've achieved in life, that's a good thing. I wanted to provide a platform where they can do it in the best possible way, where they can get the limelight that their car deserves, that they deserve, right? Ramp walk was something that I felt was the best thing for that.
And it was for all cars?
So I only had supercars, right? Super bikes as well, but that was mostly for the Red Bull FMX that was there.
Okay.
Any other, the cars that were coming in, they were all premium supercars. So all of them, I had an exclusive area for them. वहीं से ही every car will be inside the exclusive area. वहाँ से stage का रास्ता था, stage से वापस exclusive area में. So they didn't have to go out, no one had to come in. इस तरीके से था. So I felt कि, you know, this is the way where people also from their point of view can enjoy it the most. These cars are on the street. Hyderabad has a lot of supercars. They're always on the street. People do see it. What different am I doing? Right? उनको सड़क पे दिखती है, अब यहाँ event पे दिख रही है. There's not much difference. One thing that they hadn't experienced was seeing them on a ramp walk with such a vibe. Right? So that was one thing that was different. Right? I can't be कि, you know, जो सड़क पे गाड़ी तुम फ्री में देखते हो, मेरे को पैसे दो, मैं तुम्हें यहाँ पे सड़क पे दिखाऊंगा. Doesn't make sense. I need to give them an experience that they haven't had before. So this was the best way. Okay.
And if I may ask you one question, and you can completely choose to not answer that question, that's absolutely fine. But you mentioned about giving these supercar owners an exclusive area. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, you did the same thing even in the past 2 events that you did.
Yes.
Okay. May I ask why do you do that? Why do you end up giving an exclusive area for supercar owners?
See, it is quite in the gray area,
Okay.
right? But when people have achieved such things, right? I'm not saying anything about others, but you know, once they've achieved this, they need a sense of security,
Fair enough.
right? Them being outside doesn't justify the amount or the work they've put into getting that car, right? I'm sure this might not be the best thing, right?
Sure.
But this was what my idea was, and I felt providing that extra sense of security was important for me, because this is what I'm providing them to in return for them to come to the event.
Sure.
Right. So that's, I think, one of the reasons that I wanted an exclusive space.
And fair enough, because I mean, I'll tell you what, this is something which I personally have observed. I mean, I spoke to Archit also. It's something which is very wrongly perceived by people who are visitors in the event. उनको लगता है कि पता नहीं क्यों सबको उनको अलग जगह दे दी, हमें इधर खड़ा कर दिया, and from what I have gotten to know from Archit as well as you now, that's clearly not the case. I mean, I remember talking to HMCI guys, like I just mentioned a few minutes ago, for another event which is happening. तो उसमें उनका भी सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन यही था कि यार आराध्या, these cars are way more worth than even Lambos and Ferraris that are running around these days. So what is the security that we have there that, you know, general visitors or people that are coming to visit the events, they will not fiddle around with the cars, and because यहाँ अपने देश में अभी भी वो टेंडेंसी है कि लोग आपकी गाड़ी पे लीन करके फोटोज खिंचवाना चाहते हैं, फॉर वट एवर रीजन, अगले को नहीं पता कि द ओनर माइट नॉट बी comfortable with it, because not everybody who's coming at the event might be an enthusiast. So maybe is that the reason also?
See, to put it more simply, right, this is what happens, right? You can't put your finger out just for this thing, right? Let's say flights, right? There's business class in there. You can't be like, why is he's paying for it? He is paying that extra amount to get that more exclusivity. It's a very natural order. It happens around the world. It's happening here, right? And this is something that me as an organizer, I'm bound to provide them. Right, that's what I feel. There's not much reason for them to be a part of the event if I'm keeping them with everyone else.
Also, I feel, my personal view is also that, you know, let's say there's a separate area for supercars and sports cars, there's a separate area for tuned cars, there's a separate area for classic cars. So automatically, let's say in the exclusive area for, let's say, classic cars, there are 50 classic cars. So automatically those 50 owners will have something in common to talk about to each other. A classic car owner, let's say 1962 Ford Mustang owner, might not have anything on planet Earth in common with a guy who has tuned a GTR.
Exactly.
So, from what I understand, that is also another reason why this kind of a thing is...
That's what I've done as well, right? I've kept separate sections for all the modified cars, separate spaces for the supercars, separate spaces for superbikes. There is an extra provision of security because those guys need it, right? So that is all there is to it. There's no reason, you know, no idea behind it that we want to segregate you guys. We don't feel that you guys are worth it. It's not the case. For me, at least as an organizer, in fact, everyone is equally important for me, whoever's being a part of that event.
I mean, me and you, we don't own supercars. So, I don't have that kind of money right now. Okay. Another new thing which I observed in the Hyderabad event that you did, stunt shows. Where did that idea pop up in your head from?
So, after the Bangalore one, right, Red Bull was a part of it. They took care of the drift area. They had their branding there. They created a portrait of the Drift King over there as well, right?
Red Bull पैसे देता है?
Red Bull doesn't pay me directly. They pay for the stuff that they're doing at the event, right?
Fair enough.
So, for example, for the Hyderabad event, right, their total cost was about 30 lakhs.
Why I'm saying this because Red Bull is famous कि ये लोग पैसे नहीं देंगे, Red Bull भेज देंगे आपको. जितनी Red Bull चाहिए ले लो.
But whatever, you know, the logistical, the production that they do, I don't have to pay for that. That is,
fair enough.
For example, that if that's a part of the event, right, FMX, they put 30 lakhs into it. In case they weren't sponsoring, that was my 30 lakhs I would have spent on it. I don't have to do that. I consider this as a sponsorship, even though it's barter.
So they do it themselves then?
They do it themselves. I don't have to pay them anything. They don't have to pay me anything. Barter, but I feel it's justified. Right?
Okay.
As I said, 30 lakhs, it's not less, it's not a very small amount. It's
not bad, because talking about Red Bull's competitor Monster Energy, Monster ki videos we've been seeing day in and day out on YouTube.
Yeah.
So Monster, at least in abroad, in other countries like US and other countries, they know their shit when we talk about adventure sports, or let's say motorsports, or drifting and, you know, jumping, flying Baja trucks and all those things. But I never knew that India mein there are people in Red Bull who actually have a sense of these events.
Quite less.
Okay.
But it's Red Bull, in fact, is trying to push it inside India as well right now, because there's been a huge level up in enthusiasm for such stuff, right?
Okay.
I've seen the difference as well. And Red Bull, of course, does it the best outside, right? No one can compete Red Bull in terms of that. This is also one of their international events that they do regularly outside. They've done it once in Mumbai before, I think in 2019 in front of Gateway of India. They were looking, so what was it? Bangalore mein after that event, right? They were it went very successful from their side too. Right? They were happy about it. They had already reached out to me that whatever I do next, they want to do something big in it. Right? I'm like, definitely. I told them, this is my plan. This is all I'm doing. Now tell me, what big thing are you going to do? It took 2 months of conversations up and down and trying to figure out if the FMX is possible there or not. 2 weeks before the event, even in my pitch decks, even in any marketing on social media, no mention of FMX was there because it wasn't confirmed.
Okay.
2 weeks before the event, they were like, let's do it. We are ready for it. We're going to start on it, and we're doing it.
You're saying this was completely Red Bull's idea?
FMX, yeah.
FMX.
It was Red Bull's idea.
Wow.
Right. They told me that they wanted to do something big. Now they know whatever events they can do, right?
You would have flipped out of your couch, dude. And you got to know these guys are doing FMX.
Sort of. But I see what I've learned in these 3 events, right? Not much time it has been, I agree, right?
Yeah.
But I feel I've learned a lot. One of those things is to not jump on unless and until it has happened, right? When they told me Red Bull, it's coming, I was like, okay, if they do, I'm more than happy. Until then, it's fine. They do it, they don't do it. I already have a very tasty cake. If they put a cherry on it, more than welcome. That's what I do it. That's how I do it.
Fair enough.
Since the first event, I get a news like, oh, let's go, done. It doesn't happen, right? And it's like it's not needed.
It just fuels up frustration, I feel.
Sort of, it does.
It gives you that sense of negativity कि अरे बंदा बोल तो गया काफी कुछ लेकिन हुआ कुछ नहीं. That's that saying, na? It's not done till it's really done.
Yeah, exactly. That is all there is to it. The moment the event was over, I told my mom, dad as well, I'm very happy the FMX happened. I'm very excited about the fact that it has happened. Right? See, even in Bangalore, there were a lot of things that were supposed to happen. None of them happened. Right? So,
may I ask what all?
It was mostly in terms of the cars that are coming.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
For example, the Dodge Challenger was supposed to come.
Okay.
It was coming from Kochi.
Okay.
Right? The guy said he'll be driving it out. Okay. Everything was set. Not really an issue. He didn't make it, but that's what, right? For a week, I was very excited. A Dodge Challenger is coming, right? So now, it's like if it happens, I'll be just as excited. Until then, I'll work on the things that I know are in my control. The things that are not in my control, I'll let them pan out, whatever they want to pan out.
Okay.
Right? Because even with Red Bull, right, 2 months conversation, I told you, बहुत up and down tha. I was getting distracted by it rather than on focusing on what's in my control. I wasted a bit of time there as well.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll leave it to Red Bull. There's no more conversation that is supposed to happen from my side. I'll work on what I want to work, what I can work on, and it's up to Red Bull. Right? I think 2 weeks तक there was no conversation as well. I was with मेरे दिमाग में ये था कि अब वो नहीं हो रहा, मैं अपना इवेंट कर रहा हूँ, मेरे पास और बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं. 2 weeks बिफोर द इवेंट उनका कॉल आया कि हो रहा है. मैंने कहा ठीक है करो. लाइक नो रिएक्शन ऑन माई साइड, क्योंकि what happens with these brands is they can flip anytime, right? They can even on event day. So but
they would have been also be like यार excited क्यों नहीं है ये बंदा.
I'm sure
ठीक है कर लो क्या होता है.
मीटिंग थी, so there were 2 of the people from Red Bull. मैं था, वीडियो कॉल थी, Zoom मीट थी, I think Google मीट थी, whatever. तो उस पे जब 2 weeks तक कॉन्वर्जेशन नहीं हुई ना, so I was having this conversation with one of the persons. अब 2 weeks before the event, he was like, the senior guy, he's the motorsport head. Like he wants to talk to you about it. He wants to talk to you. Right? I didn't know what it was about. Right? Because Red Bull was anyway a part of it without the FMX as well. So call start hui. He was like, do you know about Red Bull FMX? Like सुना लग रहा है. उन्होंने बोला करने में, कहा ठीक है, tell me what the procedure is, what do you want from my side to execute it, and tell me what are you gonna do, and we'll work on it. इतनी conversation थी and it happened.
But I think clearly they saw something that you've successfully done in the first 2 events. That's why they also agreed to do it. I'm very sure about that.
That's true. Right? And the venue was very helpful as well.
Yeah.
There's not much spaces that can
What was the venue again?
So it was High-Tech's Exhibition Center.
Okay.
It's one of the most, it's actually the most premium venue.
It's a closed space.
Sorry?
It's a closed space.
No. So it has quite a few convention centers inside, a lot of halls. Right. And since there are a lot of halls, big halls, they have a 25,000 square meter parking.
Okay.
I took 20,000 square meter of that parking.
Okay.
Very big area. I took that. So it was in an open area.
Got it.
But parking.
Interesting. Another thing I saw, which was really fascinating, that Chief Minister Saab ko, you invited him.
Yes.
Where did that come from? What was the ideology behind it? How did that happen? I mean, I've never seen something like that happen. I'm sure you have a very solid reason why you...
See, I sold this idea to him. I told him, I'm here to, increase the automotive. I'm here to make this city as the automotive hub.
Okay.
I want people to know that this is all these things are happening in Hyderabad as well. See, Hyderabad is in a very important stage in history.
Yeah.
Right now, it's developing faster than any city in the world.
Any city. Correct.
In the world. I think it's in the 4th place now in terms of development. I use that fact. I knew this is something that would trigger him as well. The moment I said all these things, right, him and his team, they already agreed that we will come and inaugurate it at least. There was no conversation about the fact that he'll come to the event, that he'll be a part of the event. So मेरी प्लानिंग सारी इस हिसाब से ही थी कि मेरा इवेंट अपना चलेगा. इवेंट से 1-2 घंटे पहले he'll come and inaugurate it. It'll be very good. 19th को इवेंट है. 18th night को the secretary calls me. He's like, the CM will come to the event. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? It's like, what time the event starts? I'm like, it starts at 6 p.m. We'll start the entry at 5 p.m. He said he'll come at 7 p.m. inside the event. Because see, when I went and met him too, right, I mean, I know it generally too, but the security detail he has and the protocols it requires for him to be anywhere, I know how harsh they are.
Yeah, have to be.
And the moment I heard that he's coming, my first thought was, I'm not prepared, right? My entire setup, my entire plan for the event is not in terms of how the CM is going to come inside. I told them, like, see, I'm not ready for it, right? You will have to send someone to help me out with it. Send your team, tell me how it actually happens, what the procedure is, what the protocols are. I had to leave everything else. मैं और event की किसी चीज़ पे focus नहीं कर पा रहा था because 19th morning से afternoon तक I was sitting with CM's team. How it's supposed to happen, what all will happen, किस तरीके से एंट्री होगी, कहाँ से एंट्री होगी. अब बड़ा सा हॉल था, उसमें राउंड टेबल, पूरी टीम बैठी हुई है, मैं भी वहाँ बैठा हूँ. यहाँ पे कमिश्नर ऑफ पुलिस है, इधर डीसीपी है, उसके आई थिंक सीक्रेट सर्विस होते हैं वो,
समथिंग,
हिज वेरी उनकी सिक्योरिटी डिटेल थी पूरी, एंड क्वाइट अ फ्यू अदर मेंबर्स एज वेल ऑन अदर चेयर्स. आई केप्ट गेटिंग कॉल्स क्योंकि मेरा इवेंट है, मैं एक इवेंट कर रहा हूँ और मेरे पास उससे रिलेटेड कॉल आ रहे हैं. इशू भी यही था कि आई वॉज दी ओनली वन हु न्यू अबाउट द इवेंट, लाइक किस तरीके से होना है. आई कुडंट पिक द कॉल अप. आफ्टरनून, आई थिंक आफ्टरनून भी क्या 3:34 PM तक आई गॉट फ्री फ्रॉम देयर. फिर मैंने जाके थोड़ा इवेंट जितना संभाल सकता था पहले. बिफोर द CM के थोड़े से इश्यूज आए, बिकॉज there was all the supercars that was in the exclusive zone. The supercars I called in the sense ki I'll host you guys in the best of the way possible and you have to come. उन सब की checking हो रही थी. There was bomb checking inside all the cars. They were not allowed to leave. Their family was not supposed to come in. काफ़ी ये सारा रकस था. And उस टाइम पे मेरे दिमाग में ये भी thought आता है, I shouldn't have, because if I consider this as a business, right, those are my clients.
Yeah.
These supercar guys. And I'm hurting them. The moment CM left, I took control of the event. I took everything back. I started the catwalk, right? Everything went back to normal. फिर थोड़ा ठीक हुआ. After that, when the event happened and everything was done and dusted, I was like, ठीक है, eventually it's good that the CM came. But तब तक तो यही था कि थोड़ा खराब हो गया सीन. But it was nice. I'm happy about it.
Interesting. At least now we know that the CM is a car guy.
He was very fascinated about the FMX idea.
Okay.
Right? I told him that this is something that's happening for the first time in South India and it's going to happen in Hyderabad. Hyderabad was one word that I knew that I had to use every time and for the first time. Right? For the first time and Hyderabad. These two words were I am sure were the only words that he needed to hear. Even his team. So there was a whole process for me to reach out to him, right? So it worked very well. I feel I was able to sell it well to him.
How do you think it would have impacted, the moment, I'm sure the news would have gone out in some way or the other that, the CM of Hyderabad came to such and such event to support, this kind of an enthusiasm on automobiles.
Yeah.
What kind of a message do you think it would have put out to other car enthusiasts in Hyderabad or budding car enthusiasts in Hyderabad?
See, in terms of...
Or even the tuners for that matter.
ट्यूनर्स के लिए तो देखो रूल वो है भी वहाँ नहीं कर सकते ट्यूनिंग, राइट? इट्स वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट इन हैदराबाद टू. हैदराबाद, दिल्ली, एनीवेयर अपार्ट फ्रॉम केरला.
Really? Hyderabad में भी strict?
Yeah, definitely. I had to take special permissions for even the supercars because most of them were coming from outer state. Some from Kerala, that, those cars not be stopped because they're coming for this event that CM is also attending. Because of CM's presence, I was able to get those permissions as well.
Fair enough.
So it is strict in Hyderabad too. One of my friend, he has an M3.
Okay.
Right, he got his car to Hyderabad for the event only, and he was driving it around. Of course, he loves his car. The car is beautiful. It's stage 3 M3.
Ooh.
Right, it's the fastest M3 in India.
Okay.
He got stopped, I think, twice or thrice. I always had to call the DCP. Like, see, you know about the event. Right, this car is here for the event. It was going to a mechanic's place to get the work done for the event, and that process always happened. It is strict, and also the fact that the car is very loud, so it draws a lot of attention too. But yeah, so it is strict. Baki, as far as I saw on social media, right, especially on any post regarding the CM, everyone was happy about the fact that the CM is interested in these things. Because this gesture of his, right, it's not for only his fun. This gesture of his means that he wants to promote this, right? if he doesn't want to promote this, even though if he likes it, he wouldn't attend it. The only reason he still attended it was because he wants this to be promoted. So I'm sure that does impact the enthusiasts, especially in Hyderabad, on a big scale.
It's like आइडिया भी समझ ले मेरी तरफ से, अगले इवेंट पे गडकरी सर को बुला लियो. बहुत लोग खुश होंगे. सब भरे बैठे हुए कि यहाँ पे प्लीज स्पीड ब्रेकर हट जाएंगे, यहाँ पे ये हो जाएगा. बट नहीं यार, आई थिंक यू डिड अ ब्रिलियंट जॉब, नो डाउट अबाउट इट. कैन यू हेल्प मी अंडरस्टैंड द इकोनॉमिक्स ऑफ what you are doing with Whip Mantra of, let's say, this event that you did in Hyderabad? Because why I'm asking that is there are so many people now, they are really, I feel, would be inspired by the kind of work you're doing, and those are the people who are actually wanting to make a difference in the automobile and motoring community, to see the change in terms of enthusiasm that they want to experience. So from that mindset, also for other young guns to be able to understand the business aspect of organizing such events, can you help me understand how things work in this?
So if you consider this as a business model, right, it's not going to work. It's not a business model, at least not right now. Okay. I don't see this as a business model. There's no money in it, right? I'll be honest, first 2 car meets, there was a net positive.
Okay.
Right? Because I got a few sponsors. The ticket sales were good as well. I was able to pull a good crowd. But it's not a business model, right? You got to treat it purely as something you're doing out of passion. You got to forget that there is no money in this. That the moment you do it, that you're gonna get some amount for you to be happy about. It won't work that way. I have already decided, even since the first car meet, that this is something जिसमें मेरे को मिलेगा नहीं कुछ भी. The only thing I get out of these things is the experience that I'm getting. Right? अभी तक क्या था, कॉलेज में, स्कूल में, I was सिर्फ असाइनमेंट्स चलते थे. ठीक है, अभी ये असाइनमेंट, अब वो करना है, ये करना है. What's happening now is I'm out in the real world. I am seeing what it's actually like to be out there, to work on something, to meet people. And the second is networking, to make connections, to know people, get to know people, what this industry is about, क्या exactly चल रहा है, कौन क्या कर रहा है, कैसा चल रहा है सब. These are the only 2 things I'm getting out of it. And because I purely treat it as a passion project, I am able to do it properly.
Okay. So,
anyone coming in, okay, this feels like a good business thing, right? I'm gonna get something out of it. It won't work.
And not like you're doing an event every couple of weeks.
Oh, it takes me a lot of time, mostly because abhi tak I'm doing it alone.
Does.
पर वो ये team का तो of course there is, but since I'm doing it alone, it takes me a lot of time, and it's not something like you just सुबह उठा मैं कि अरे event करते हैं, लोगों को call किया, परसों event आ जाओ.
Okay.
It takes a lot of planning. There's a lot of things go on for it to be successful. So it takes time.
Okay.
See, to explain it why it's not a business model, right? The venue cost. Me traveling to Hyderabad.
So in fact, I was about to ask you, like, point by point, like, if you can just point out what are the expense heads and what is the revenue model for this, very briefly.
See, considering Hyderabad, right? I'm from Delhi.
Yeah. I
travel to Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Now, how I do these events is, it's not like कि I know मैं crowd pull कर लूँगा, but I'm not, मेरा aim crowd नहीं है, मेरा aim वो car owners है. अब car owners के साथ क्या होता है, they don't, ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने social media पे post देखा, ओ अच्छा event हो रहा है, let's go. You gotta show them a face. You gotta show them a face they can trust. You gotta build it. You gotta make connection with them and then have them over. That is the only way these supercar owners, these Ferrari guys, I don't even think they look at their social medias, right?
Yeah.
99% of them wouldn't even know that an event is happening. So for this, what I've always done is, even for Bangalore, even for Hyderabad, I go 3 months before the event. December में event था. अक्टूबर में आई वॉज इन हैदराबाद.
Okay.
दिल्ली में भी कई बार काम आ जाता है. द फ्लाइट्स बैक टू हैदराबाद. 3 months of stay in Hyderabad. That's not cheap, right? However cheap hotel you take, when the stay goes on for more than 2.5 months, it becomes very expensive. Right. Then coming to the logistics, first, not even logistics, first the venue, right? That is one of the first thing where you spend your money on.
I'm sorry I'm cutting in the middle. While you just mentioned about the hotel, I was still calculating that तुम अगर 4,000 रुपए पर नाइट का कमरा भी पकड़ लो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल
4,000
तुम्हारे 4-5 लाख रुपए तो तुम्हारे 90 दिन पकड़ लो, 3 महीने.
हाँ.
तो 90 डेज, लेट्स से 100 डेज, तुम्हारे 4-5 लाख रुपए तो सिर्फ वहाँ रहने के लग गए. प्लस खाना पीना तो ऑब्वियसली वो सारा कुछ अलग.
देयर इज खाना पीना अपने आप को सस्टेन करने के लिए यू नीड उधर वहाँ पे खर्च करना पड़ता है.
नेचुरली
राइट लेफ्ट सेंटर यू विल बी.
हाँ.
राइट. गुड़गांव में डिफरेंट था. यहाँ से 15 मिनट दूर है वेन्यू जो गुड़गांव का था. ठीक है. यहीं रहता था. उसमें इतना कुछ था नहीं. मेरे देयर वाज almost zero cost to it. M3M was one of my sponsors.
Yeah.
They took care of the production.
Okay.
So that was a big help. So any sales from tickets I got, it was mostly with me.
Got it.
होटल स्टे हुआ, खाना पीना हुआ, वेन्यू के लिए खर्चा किया. नाउ सिंस क्योंकि 3 months पहले लोगों से कनेक्शन करना था, बिना उसके होगा नहीं. अब इधर उधर जाना, गाड़ी वहाँ पे थी मेरे पास, मैं इधर उधर जाना, उसका फ्यूल भी लगता है. राइट. नाउ द लॉजिस्टिक्स, सम ऑफ द कार्स कम फ्रॉम आउट ऑफ स्टेट.
Yeah.
Right. For example, the Supra and the Corvette. I call those guys over. There is no reason for them to pay for the transport themselves.
Yeah.
I'm inviting them. I am providing them an experience. I am the one who has to take care of their expenses. So at least not their stays, etc., but their transport.
Yeah.
And transporting 2 cars with separate containers, specially built for supercars, is expensive. Right, getting them from Kochi to Hyderabad, then back to Kochi. Then there were 3 cars from Delhi. Their transport was something that I had to bear as well.
यही 2.5 लाख रुपए हो गए.
Then there's event के लिए, see, of course, event manager था मेरे पास.
Correct.
Right, I need someone to figure out what everything's supposed to be. किस तरीके से reach out to sponsors इन सब काम के लिए. There was money involved with him. फिर सोशल मीडिया में रील्स बनानी पड़ती हैं. फर्स्ट इवेंट में आई मेड द रील्स माई सेल्फ. टाइम था. हैदराबाद जैसा इवेंट करने के लिए आई डोंट हैव द टाइम टू मेक रील्स. आई बेयरली गेट द टाइम. मैं 5 मिनट में मैं सोचता हूँ दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट, एडिटर को समझाता हूँ, ही मेक्स इट वेल.
ओके.
राइट. दैट 5 minutes होते थे मेरे पास एक कॉन्सेप्ट बताने के लिए कि इस तरीके का पोस्ट होना है.
व्हाट अबाउट F&B?
So F&B was sponsored to me. So like those guys, I provided them a space. I provided them with those pagodas, carpets, lights, etc., electricity. They pay me money for that.
Okay.
So that wasn't an issue. So editing के लिए you got to spend a lot.
Yeah.
I have, since per reel was getting very expensive, I hired him for 2 months to lower the blow. Right. There were many small, it's like you won't think about it, it won't be in your mind, but every day there was some or the other payment that I had to do.
And I'm sure there were other expenses which we can't even talk about on camera right now.
No, so there's one, the production. That was the main thing. More than the venue was the production. To have that stage set up. All the trusses there, T-trusses, lightings, smoke machines, those CO2 crackers.
And considering it's in the middle of a convention center, तो वहाँ तो कुछ भी नहीं होगा production के नाम पे.
They didn't even provide electricity, so I had to get DGs, those diesel generators, 6 of them, because it was a very big space. Diesel generators cost what, like 20-30K each.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's the diesel for it is separate. And transportation of this entire thing, that's separate as well. The banners, the LED logos, those screens, LED screens. Boards, banners, signages, everything.
वो सारा production में ही आ गया.
सारा production was the most expensive thing.
Okay.
Right? Without production, there wouldn't have been anything. So,
And I think no doubt it was great. I saw the videos. I think it was quite fantastic.
so the production idea, how it's supposed to be, that was all me. That is something. How I work is, मैं अपने instincts पे जाता हूँ. Right? उसके बाद, let's say event manager भी है ना कोई. If he says that it won't look good, I won't listen. I don't care. I visualize it. I see it that way. I will get them to execute it that way. Now, उसके बाद, it doesn't work well. That's on me to own it. And I'm fine with that. But if that is how I'm visualizing it, that is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
So इस चीज़ में, how the creativity and the beautification of it, I handle that on my own. उसके लिए किसी को कभी भी delegate नहीं करने वाला मैं. So whatever lights you saw, किस तरीके से आ रही हैं, the lasers on it, जिस तरीके का ambience on the stage, it was all me. जहाँ बाकी भी lights थी. So you spend more than you gain in terms financial terms.
Yeah.
If I exclude those, I feel I gained a lot from that event. From Vip Mantra generally. The experience, the networks, the friendships I have made along the way.
Yeah.
I value them more than money right now. And see, I do get it. This is sort of a luxury for someone to say, ki, I don't value the money right now, right? It's not the same for everyone. And that is, I do get that. But for me personally, that was the idea.
Okay. And would I be wrong if I say the revenue model is only through ticket sales?
Ticket sales and sponsors.
Ticket sales and sponsors, correct.
Sponsors. I had
How
a
many
few.
people were you able to, what was the turnout?
10,000.
What?
10,000. Yeah.
Shit. I thought it's like, what, 500-600?
No.
10,000?
500-600?
Yeah.
I had 700 people in Gurgaon. I had 1,400 people
I'm sorry, I've never come to your event, dude. I'm clearly missing out. 10,000?
Yeah, 10,000. Like flowing, but 10,000. That was the count.
Wow.
Bangalore, I had 1,400. When I started deciding that ये वाला event करना है, तो I thought 2,000, 3,000 कर लेंगे. It ended up at 10,000, but yeah, 10,000.
Damn, dude, that's I didn't expect that number. Honestly, बता रहा हूँ.
I told you, right? I can pull the crowd.
मैं अपना अगला question भूल गया नंबर सुन के.